Hey, what's going on? Matthew taming in from LearnJoomlaFast.com, where we teach you how to create professional websites without being a professional coder with Joomla. Hey, what's going on, guys? Listen, I hope that you're doing well. I know it's been a little while since I uploaded some new videos. That is because I've been working on several new courses that is going to be released within the next few weeks. And one of the ones is I want to do a new video about Joomla, because Joomla get updated so often and people always have questions about the latest version. So this is the version 4.0, which is not stable yet. This is going to be released at the early parts of 2020, maybe sometimes January, February, around that time. So you cannot use this on a production site yet. So please don't use this yet, but you can just kind of try it out. So what I'm doing right now is I wanted to give you like an overview of what it looks like. So we are going to log into the back end, which looks different from the Joomla 3 back end. So let's log in. When you log in, you're going to notice that the back end looks completely different from Joomla 3. And you probably get a message asking you to opt into you probably get a message when you first log in. I already accepted that message, but you can always change the settings for that later on. But if you notice here, they have a dashboard, like a benchmark, where it shows you everything, all the core parts of your site. Now at the bottom, you can click to add module to the dashboard, and this allows you to add different modules that you think are interesting for you or that's needed. And you can also click on here. You can also edit modules. When you click to add it, you can choose the position here. You can be able to unpublish it if you want to. You can move it from there. You can start publish at a certain date. And in a certain date, you also have advanced here. You can set the permission levels for it. So that's one of the cool things there. Now, the reason why I'm guessing that they did this, well, first, when you're creating something like this, Joomla, that's really popular, you get a lot of data, and based on the data, I'm assuming that they collected. That's why this design is like this. And one of the benefits for having something at a site view is that you get to see things right off the back. As where with the old Joomla, you have to go at the very top here and click the drop down and go through each part. But the global check-in, that allows you to unlock content that's locked. Sometimes when you edit in a website, a page, an article page, and you exsolve and you didn't close properly, there are times when you try to get back in and you're locked out of that. So you have to come to the global check-in to check everything that's been locked. Now with the global configuration, if you give just anyone access to this, they can come in and really cause major damage to it. So with the permission levels of Joomla, there are certain permissions like the admin, administrator, and other parts that you don't have to give people access to the global configuration, because this is where your database stuff is and all your important things are. So I always tell people this: don't just give anyone access to your global configuration, because if you do, and for whatever reason they can change something by accident, that can really mess up your entire site. So once again, unless you have a developer or someone that's working on the site that you absolutely trust, you never give anyone else access to your global configuration. So let me show you. You go to systems. It shows you all the details there. It goes, someone can be able to come in and just change a few things here, and it'll mess up your entire website. And the gzip, I'm going to go over that later on. You can choose your time zone, and this is where the database stuff is. Right now, there's like a demo stuff. So you can put in all the stuff here, the text filters for that, the permission. This is where you come to set it. So the global configuration plays a major part, of your site. And once you go up here, you can see stats collects in Joomla. You can see post installation messages. Welcome to Joomla 2-factor authentication is available. So those are the messages that you get. And I wanted to give like an overview. One of the things that I do with LearnJoomlaFast.com is that I want to give you, it's designed for beginners and some intermediate. Now, even if like an advanced user, there are times when you can pick up things here and there, but I'm really focusing on those that you may not have heard of Joomla, or you just getting started with Joomla and you're trying to figure out, what is this Joomla thing? How do I use it? So that is what this is really geared on. So I'm not going to cover a lot of major technical part of it, just because it can get really confusing, especially when you're still new to Joomla. It can just like what in the world is it talking about? So I want to keep things very basic. So when you look at the sample data, you have the block sample data. This is you can install this and it gives you some content. You can also look at the multilingual sample data. So this one have 2 languages installed with it. And what that does is it just gives you pre-data for you to populate your site with. So let's go over now. To view your site on the front end, you click on this preview here and it's going to show you this is the template that they're using now for Joomla 4. They have other ones as well, but as you can see, there's no data on here, so everything is just blank. But if I were to come in and click on, let's say, install sample data, it's going to give you this message, and this process can be reverted once. So you click OK, and it's going to take time to load it. So now you've loaded some sample data. Now let's go on the front end and see if that made any change. So I'm just going to refresh, reload it. And as you can see, it added some menus, it added some blog posts. The reason why they're doing this is because sometimes when you come to Joomla, they want to give you the option to pre-populate some things. So if you're new to it, you want to see how things look. And if you're not new to it, then you can be able to just kind of start editing it from there. So if you go to articles now, it's going to show you all the contents that you see here, which in Joomla web pages are known as articles. So you can choose to feature something. You can choose to click on there to kind of, edit it. So there's here the editor screen. So if you've used Word or any text document, this is exactly how that works. And I believe this is TinyMCE, the editor. They have different ones that you can be able to use. So you go to images and links, you can add that here. And by the way, I'm going to be covering this. One of the good things about Joomla is that, whatever version that they have, the core parts of it are exactly the same. Maybe a few things added here and there, which Joomla 4 has a whole lot. Different technologies, but in terms of what you typically do with it, it's pretty much the same thing. So there's the editor, it's a lot cleaner than when they first started. So let's close this out. And then you have your popular articles. Now this here is going to show you the number of hits that you have per, and you have the update check for the Joomla's up to date. Anything that is not up to date on your site. Now the overrides are up to date. They had this, but it was located on, they had extensions tab before, but now they have components. So I'm guessing that they're going to, since it's not production ready yet, you can't really upload extensions. So this right now lets you know what needs to get updated, your privacy and your urgency requests. You can see things right on there. And then you, of course, you have your system, which kind of shows you all the stuff that's there. And you can also create a dashboard or edit your dashboard for the system. You have manage your extensions. This shows you all the extensions that's on your site. So let's go back here to the system, and you have the site template, and then you have the site template style. So right now, this is what's currently there, and you can be able to, add more templates, custom templates to your site, which is one of the great things about it. So create overrides. I'm not going to go through that right now. Template preview. So let's just close this on here. And then of course you go to your user menu. You can edit your account. You can set your accessibility settings. And what this pretty much does is it just shows you the accessibility, like the username, and this like a little demo account that I created. So that's the username for it. You can create user groups, your basic settings, accessibility, and then you can always just close everything when you're done here. And then of course they have the version level at the very top, so you know exactly what version that you're currently using. So let's go back to the dashboard. You scroll down, you have the categories, you have the fields. And as I mentioned before, I don't want to go too deep in all the technologies that they're using to make this happen, because when you're creating your website, all that stuff is not as important to you. You just want to know what you need to do to get your website up and going, how to do this and do that. So that's what I'm really focusing on when I'm creating this video for you. So there's the privacy here. This is one of the new features that they're adding, once again, with privacy, it's a lot that's happening now because, the GDPR, when that came out, I believe in 2017, you have to let people know about information you're collecting, how you're using it, and things like that. And at the very top help menu here, if there's something that you need help with, you can just click on there and it's going to give you a little bit more. So you can check this here, and let's go back to this requires consent. So once again, I'm going to cover this a little bit more. You have to mass mail, but overall, some people are used to the old Joomla. They're used to that, how it looks. They didn't have the menu. See on the left side, everything was the very top. So some people, would like this new one. For me, it really doesn't matter because I know exactly where I'm going and I can always adjust things. But for some, they may not like it. So I would love to hear your thoughts about this. What do you think about this new Joomla interface? The version 4, is this something that you like how the interface is, or would you prefer to stick with the old one? So I'd love to hear your comments and thoughts, about this.